First take was way too long, so just gonna redo it. I also talked about combining the two battles for some reason. What kind of dumb bullshit is that? Anyway, I'm Devin, coach of the Chicago Blackhawks, bringing you week 5. I think I can count, right? 5 of XPDLA season 5. So my opponent for this week has a team, but before I talk about said team, said coach, said opponent, and said battle, and said team build, I guess, even though you can see my set plain as goddamn crystal clear day on the screen, I'm going to talk about the transactions. I'm going to go over them one more time, because in the week 1 and 2 video, which is like a couple weeks old, and I didn't really have a full image down there at the bottom to detail really in depth what the things were. Like a visual aid is always nice to have. So, my scroll lock on. Fuck you. I ended up trading Cinderace for Victini to Queen, Coach of the Mad, whatever the fuck that thing's called. I didn't want Cinderace on my team, mostly because it had overlap with a bunch of my other physical breakers, Heracross, which I had at the time, Zarude, and Melmetal. I felt like, yeah, it complements them decently well in terms of what it breaks, but I kind of wanted something else in that slot because I felt like it was more of a cleaner sort of thing. And it's weird drafting around it, and I don't think I drafted around it very well, so I traded it. And then I ended up dropping, as a result, what was it? It was Galarian Articuno that was there, which got 4 kills on week 1. How could I forget I had that? And I dropped that for Mega Pidgeot with my 20 extra points. So I got Mega Pidge because Cinderace left a speed tier that I wanted to fill up in that high end. Just so something people have to prep for above Archeops / whatever the hell is around the Zarude. Even though they're not the same speed tier, you know what I mean? They're like similar. Yeah, I wanted something like around the 120 mark, 115, something along those lines. Cinderace was 119. I got Pidgeot, which is 121, I think. Yes, same as Zygarde's base defense. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, what I did after that was I didn't want Dusknoir on my team anymore because that mon sucks fucking cock. So I traded it to Tides, who wanted it, for Dusclops. I decided that, just dropping Dusknoir after he asked me before if he wanted to trade Noir for Clops was pretty BM, so I decided not having a Ghost type was fine, even though I do have some stack options on my team, especially now that I have Klefki instead of Heracross, which is the next stage of the drop tree. I felt like getting rid of the spin blocker was fine. I kind of wanted to replace Heracross with Klefki because I felt like dropping Melmetal for Zygarde. So my next 3 transactions are I dropped Melmetal for Zy50 because I felt like that fit my team a bit better. I'm on a more comfortable using. I love Melmetal so far. Like it's been pretty good, and it's actually kind of a fun mon to build with. But Zygarde's cool. It was also available, and yeah, I like Zygarde. And I ended up dropping to replace Melmetal as a Steel type. I got Klefki instead of Heracross because that also keeps the spikes. And then I got a Guts fighting type called Throw in exchange for Dusclops. Dusclops sucks. It just sucks. It's really passive, and I probably would have kept it if I thought it was okay. I personally don't like that mon. I might draft it one day myself because I haven't used it before. But every time I faced one, it's just been kind of a passive blob that gets knocked off and then dies. So it hasn't really walled much. Every person I've fought, I think I've only fought one in format before. I don't remember. I don't actually think I have fought that Pokemon before because it's really passive. But anyway, I dropped it for Throw, dropped Heracross for Klefki, dropped Melmetal for Zygarde, and that's that. So getting right back into the game, my opponent now, Slife, coach of the Victoria Victinis, has dominated pretty much everybody he's played so far, 4-0. He got 2 5-0s, 2-0 win off of an Agility Gliscor, and then I think a win the week before, and then evolved him clicking Agility on his Gliscor. So he has a Lele, Mega Houndoom, Empoleon, Heliolisk, Articuno, Victory Bell, which on this page I spelled incorrectly because I think I wrote this at like 3 in the morning. Gliscor, it's currently 2 in the morning. Gliscor, Torkoal, Aerodactyl, Chestnut, and Snorlax. Zygarde destroys him. If I get to +1, his only good answers are Gliscor, which if it Ice Fangs me and activates my weakness policy, thanks. And Chestnut, which isn't good against like sub Zygarde, especially if it's Coil, which is a possibility against his team. Not super likely because he does have stuff that offensively checks it. On the special side, offensive Articuno outspeeds a lot of the Coil sets that I was thinking of bringing. Mega Houndoom can HP Ice that if it gets chipped down enough. Scarf Heliolisk, which I'm fully expecting because it outruns +1 Zygarde, even though I'm bringing +1 Zygarde. That's part of the reason the policy's there. +1 E-Speed doesn't kill after rocks, but +3 E-Speed does. +3 E-Speed I think kills it from full, too. Yeah, it's just a really good mon for this game. Zen Headbutt's there to hit the Chesnaught, because this set's a bit more checkable by Chesnaught than Subcoil, so there's that. Yeah. 1,000 arrows and Headbutt E-Speed with a weakness policy. Hopefully he Ice Fangs me, HP Ices me. The Spadef's there to help me with Moonblast on Lele. But if he's Scarfed, I can't E-Speed it, so I gotta play carefully with this Pokemon. Zen Headbutt also being powered up by Psychic Terrain helps a bit too. It essentially makes it like I'm running Dual Stab if Terrain is up and stuff. So this might be the move I actually click because it is... Oh, wait, no, it's weaker than 1,000 arrows. Go fuck yourself. I'm not clicking that most of the time then. Up next we have Choice Scarf Archeops. This is nice because it outruns a few things. So, first of all, it's an instant revenge killer for both Choice Scarf Heliolisk, because it outruns that, and Mega Houndoom, just base. If it's Flame Charge Mega Houndoom, I'll go fuck myself, but I don't know how likely that is. I guess it could be Double Dance. I'm more of expecting Nasty Plot 3 attacks, because he kind of wants HP Grass if he's not bringing Torkoal, which makes him a lot weaker to Victini if he brings Torkoal, so I don't expect that to show up. So, yeah, I'm bringing Choice Scarf Archeops. This is the set. Dual Wing Beat's there to instantly kill most Chesnaughts. I don't know if he'll bring fully physically defensive, because it still helps with, like, Rotom and stuff if he puts a bit of Spadef in there to live, like, a +2 HP flying and then fuck me up with a Wood Hammer, something like that. So I just brought this. This also outspeeds Victory Bell if Sun is up, which is very nice. It outspeeds it by a point, which I've done this before. I've run Choice Scarf base 110 Mons to outspeed Mega Swampert and Rain before. I've done this with both Lotties, and I think I've done it with a... What else is base 110? Well, something with base 110 speed before. Just max speed to outrun that stuff. And Victory Bell, the same thing applies because it has the same speed as Mega Swampert. So I think that's true. I think that is 100% correct. Right? Yeah, it is. Thank you, Jesus. So yeah, this instantly kills that with Dual Wing Beat. It also outspeeds Agility and Polion, which I don't know how likely that is, but I want to be prepared just in case I almost get fucked by that. Because the team I brought's relatively weak to it. I am bringing Blissey and an Assault Vest Throw, but if those get chipped and Blissey is dead, because I needed it to check, say, a +2 Gliscor, then that could be a problem. So I decided to run another offensive check to that, just in case. So yeah. Up next we have a relatively Spadef Piloswine. This helps me take a hit. I think it lets me take a non-specs Focus Blast after Rocks, I think is what I was calculating for. And then the rest in attack, 20 speed in case he runs some creeps, and to potentially break ties. How fast is Chesnaught again? I don't remember. 64, okay. Yeah, no, it's nowhere near enough speed for Min Chesnaught, so yeah, this is to avoid creeps. Yeah, this mon's really reliable. It checks stuff like Arrow, which was starting to look like a problem with these two first Pokemon, because Arrow is relatively strong. If he brings Banded Ice Fang, for example, I could be fucked by that. So I decided to run this. Yeah, it gets up Rocks. Icicle Spear's there for Sub-Gliscor. Toxic's nice to nail Snorlax. And EQ is Earthquake. It hits a lot of his team, because it's Earthquake. Next we have a Banded Victini. This was originally Choice Scarf, but I decided to put on a Band instead because I wanted to hit Houndoom harder with U-Turn. I wanted to be able to OHKO Chesnaught instead of just get fucking scared by it. Just fucking V-create it, Choice Scarf. If he has an Aqua Berry, I hit it a lot harder, and then, you know, Earthquake would fuck me up because I'm at -1 defense. So I wanted to be prepared in case that situation came up. Band also lets me hit, like, Curse Lax harder with Bolt Strike if he's Thick Fat, V-create if he's Gluttony. It also lets me do horrible things to Torkoal, and if he gets up Sun, it lets me pretty much kill anything. The only issue I have is a pre-Mega Houndoom, really, which I think he's probably going to keep in his back pocket for a while until Victini's a bit chipped. I have a feeling he's going to run Nasty Plot with Sucker Punch in case Choice Scarf Victini pops up, rears its little freakish head in this game. But I went with Bandit. It also lets me break through Gliscor without needing to run Glaciate. Bolt Strike, so I have a neutral hit against a pre-Mega Houndoom. It just helps. Nothing really fit in that slot. I wanted to run Trick, but I honestly wanted to keep my Band most of the time. The more I ran the numbers, so yeah, Bolt Strike was just the move of choice. I'm actually have an offensive Blissey. It's Blissey. I do weird shit with Blissey because it's fun. This is to guarantee an Oko on max HP Gliscor. It does a shit ton of SPDF Gliscor as well. This also lets me not be fucked by Chesnaught because I have enough speed for no speed Chesnaught on this. Maybe a bit of change too. S-Toss I felt like was a necessity. It was just too good to pass up. If it's sub Calm Mind Lele, I need to be able to break the thing subs reliably. It lets me do consistent damage to Houndoom in the meantime and break subs on Articuno if that's a thing, like sub Roost, Toxic, and Freeze Dry, if that's a set he wants to bring. So yeah, this was just a good bring overall. T-Wave is there to help me with Houndoom. If he's Nasty Plot in the Sun, I take an Overheat. Probably. I have no investment, so maybe it's Rocky. I've been one-shot by Houndoom before in the Sun with a Porygon 2, so who the fuck knows. It was a Fizz-Def Porygon 2, though, so that might have helped. Yeah, Chesnaught hit by Ice Beam. T-Wave's good for Lax if I want to be able to bullshit that. It checks Heliolisk very, very well. Ice Beam does a good chunk to that. I think it actually does a bit more than Seismic Toss because of the Never Melt Ice, but I'm not sure. It's also good against Special Victory Bell. If he gets up a Swords Dance as I come in, I think it gets Growth, but I'm not 100% sure. No, I don't think it does. So it gets Swords Dance. So if it gets up, I can live a Leaf Blade relatively well with this defense investment and, you know, do a shit ton back with Ice Beam. And then finally we have an Assault Vest throw. I just wanted another Houndoom check, just for security against that. I really didn't have a good 6th Mon I wanted to throw in the last slot. I was considering something like a Scarf Rotom maybe. In the end, I went with Throw Assault Vested. Helps me with Houndoom. Helps me with Lele. Could take a hit from that. Even a Psyshock, I'm pretty sure, and then just nail it with Poison Jab. And then these 3 moves are nice. Storm Throw is also nice insurance against a Curse Lax. So yeah, let's get right into the game. This is a lot shorter. Hell yeah. So yeah, right here. I have a hotkey for that I should be using, but whatever. He brought Lele, Gliscor, Houndoom, Mega, Heliolisk, that's not Torkoal, that's Chesnaught, and Snorlax. Yeah, my mons are good against this. I decided to lead with Archeops. I was expecting either a, this thing I'm holding in the void of nowhere, to lead off. I don't know if that actually shows up on OBS, so it would probably look retarded, but whatever. This thing that is really good, it outspeeds Choice Scarf Heliolisk, and if he decides to stay in, I can Earthquake that. Maybe a Gliscor lead, and then if he thinks I'm like a Suicide lead Archeops, even though that would be really weird because I brought Blissey and Piloswine, but you know, it's the thought that counts, and he wants to try and attack or try and get up rocks, maybe try and trade rocks with me, or yeah, I can get some good damage off. Or I expect Chesnaught to lead off to try and prevent him from getting fucked up by Zygarde, although the Chesnaught lead gets destroyed by Victini now that I think about it, but whatever. I'm going to lead with Archeops. He actually leads with Lele, so Scarf Archeops outspeeds every Lele known to man, and Head Smash kills it. If it's Sash, I'll go fuck myself, because Archeops will die, but getting this down to its Sash is still nice for stuff like Zygarde. I know at +1 I outspeed it, and it doesn't have the Sash anymore. Obviously it's at 1 HP. It gets put in range of rocks if I get them up. It's, you know, Throw can potentially grill a little bit easier. It's a bit less pressured. It can be used to check Heliolisk and Houndoom without needing to take a Moonblast, potentially. So yeah, that's nice. It's also really good for Blissey. So I decided to just go for it, and he actually dies. So he's not Sash, he's not anything. I assume he thought I was like a lead Archeops and just went for damage while allowing me to get up rocks there. He felt like that was probably a fair trade, but I decided to just fucking murder his Tapu Lele instead. So here he goes into Heliolisk. I think the train of thought behind this was go into my Heliolisk and its Choice Scarf, so I should outspeed it. But I guess he didn't expect Choice Scarf Archeops because I just rail this thing too. So that's really nice. That means he loses his best offensive check to +1 Zygarde if my policy is already popped, which means I'm probably... no. Okay, so if he gets me chipped with something like Body Slam on Snorlax versus my Zygarde, or if he gets me down with like Leech Seeds and he outplays me with Chesnaught Spiky Shields and DD 50-50s, then he loses probably his best offensive check to Helios get +1. I mean, it's easily his yeah, because it's not Scarf Lele, probably. Because he went into it, because if it was Scarf Lele, he would know I'm Scarf Archeops. So he went into this, not really expecting it to be Choice Scarf, I imagine, so I just killed that. Now he goes into Gliscor. Defeatist, I do 31%. This would have 2-hit KO'd Gliscor. So I'm pretty sure that this confirms to me that he's max HP, no defense investment, which makes Zygarde a lot more happy. So he's going to get up his rocks, very, very solid play on his part. Because that covers me killing myself with Head Smash, he gets chip on the rest of my team. That also covers me switching out because I can't bring in Archeops anymore after that because I didn't bring any removal on anything. And if I did bring Defog on Archeops, it would be dead when it came in because I'm obviously Choice Scarfed. So yeah, I'm going to go into Piloswine. You do not keep your Gliscor in on a Piloswine. You go into your Thick Fat Pokemon, which is why I clicked Toxic. The way he brought this in, it's obviously not immunity, so I'm assuming it's Thick Fat. The way he brought this in, to swallow an ice thingy. So I'm going to actually go for Earthquake because I have so much attack investment after I get on my rocks, obviously. He goes for Body Slam. It does absolutely nothing, so I can actually take this thing on. I really wasn't afraid of anything besides either a Banded Superpower or a Banded Heavy Slam. I think Banded Superpower from Adamant Snorlax did kill Piloswine, but I'm not 100%. It probably should, right? It's a Lax. Heavy Slam I think I took because it's a little bit weaker, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah. This, obviously, the leftovers and stuff confirms that he is not an offensive. I mean, I think he had max attack, but yeah, there's probably a bunch of Spadef to help deal with, like, Victini if it was offensive on the special side. So I go for Earthquake, and this shows me I think that he has no defense investment because that does 40. Actually, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I think that actually showed me he was max defense. I forget. I calced it during the game, but I forgot it because this is a 9-day-old game. So he goes for Body Slam, gets the same roll. Here, Icicle Spear, if I get 3 hits, should put him in range of Toxic based off the Earthquake damage. It's basically in my favor to kill the Snorlax here if I click Icicle Spear, and it also covers him going into either of his Earthquake switch-ins to try and pivot around me to get a free kill. Like if he has Power Whip on Gliscor to hit this plus. He also doesn't know my last move, so it could be Ice Shard too, which Gliscor can potentially eat up. So yeah, he's going to. I'm going to assume he's going to switch into one of his ground things. Chesnaught can kill me with Drain Punch / Seed Bomb. Gliscor can kill me from here with Power Whip. So I'm just going to go for Icicle Spear to cover for that, and he does go into his Chesnaught. This is beautiful for Zygarde, obviously, as the Chesnaught shows to have a decent amount of his def investment. He is going to heal back a bit of what he is sowed from the Icicle Spear, but after lefties, he's actually potentially in range of +1 Zen Headbutt from Zygarde, especially if I get U-turn chip off with Victini. So that's why I'm going to go into Victini and click U-turn. This also covers him switching into something like potentially Houndoom, but more likely Gliscor. Gliscor would die, but then if Houndoom has Pursuit, or if he just goes into Houndoom and clicks Flame Charge, I'm in a bit of trouble, but I still have a full health Blissey and Assault Vest throw in the back. So it's a bit less rocky, but if you Pursuit traps my Victini, I'm in a bit of trouble. So I'm just going to U-turn out. And I actually get a crit on the Gliscor, which is kind of unfortunate because it lets me go into Zygarde. And if it's Banded Zygarde, he has to run scared of it. Whereas if I didn't get the crit, there's a potential that he could just eat this up because Gliscor is stupid. But he's going to go straight into his Chesnaught, and I'm going to take an opportunity to get up a DD. I wanted him to Ice Fang me there if he had it, but I didn't realize if I was Banded Zygarde. I didn't think about that at the time, that he'd switch. But either way, DDing here is overall my best play, as I'm going to Zen Headbutt the Chesnaught. And Zen Headbutt does have that 20% chance to fuck people over completely. So this basically seals the game up for me completely, because if you look at the rest of his team, it's chipped to the point where Zygarde just kills everything. He has no chance at this point. I can just click arrows 4 times and win. So it sucks he didn't get to leech, do potential Spiky Shield games or anything to try and get back into it, but I think everything was down bad enough to be within killing range of Victini, and I still had 2 checks to Houndoom that were healthy in the back. So yeah, it made it a lot easier of a game, but he still could have been in it if that Zen Headbutt flinch didn't happen, which kind of sucks. Yeah, if he did have HP Ice though, that would have made my day. Yeah, but that's a nice win. 15 turns. Again, the Zen Headbutt flinch took him completely out of it, and the U-turn crit definitely played a bit of a role too in how I played the end game there. So very quick 15 turn game. Nice 4-0 win. We go up to 4-1. We're in the upper echelon of the records now. Slife was the last undefeated coach, so we are also the Titans' bane of this season, which is kind of nice. And yeah, I just felt like my new toys were good. Were good enough in this matchup to help me win this game. So that was week 5. Week 6 is against Sly, coach of the Seattle Swallows, and he's got an annoying fucking team with a Mew on it. So we're just gonna have to take our licks as they come. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed, please subscribe and shit. Follow my socials in the description. And yeah, see you all in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.